Is Toroline's Pro Hybrid the best hybrid polyester setup on the tennis market?
We're going to jump on court, put it through its paces and find out. Review coming soon. As in 10 seconds.
Oh, in 10 seconds. The review's coming in 3 seconds time. Pro Hybrid is a combination poly of Wasabi and Wasabi X.
I was a bit late on that one, sorry. So Wasabi is the green string which we've got in the mains, and Wasabi X is the blue string that we've got in the crosses.
Just for clarity, the main strings are the ones that are vertical, ones that go top to bottom.
Yeah, and the cross strings obviously run across the racket. The idea with Pro Hybrid is that the round Wasabi X that is in the crosses allows the main strings to move up and down.
Yeah, it's coated, it's lubricated, so it gets more snapback and more movement. And then obviously because it's round as well, that helps with that as well.
And then the square Wasabi is going to be allowed to bite into the ball more using its square profile, which is going to give you more spin and more control.
So we have tested Wasabi as a full bed.
Yep.
So our first kind of thing was, well, is it better than Wasabi full bed? And that's the first thing we're going to be trying to answer. And then it's, well, how does it compare to other strings on the market, other options for you to use?
Yeah.
As you can see, green and blue.
Yep.
They're both 1.23 mil.
Yep.
We have strung
2
of the rackets that we know best. My Pure Drive at £50.
Yeah, and my Head Speed, which is also strung at £50. We've hit a few balls with them already, so they probably soften to closer to 48, which we think is bang in the sweet spot for a polyester string.
Yeah, so we're going to have a go through all range of shots, volleys, ground strokes, trying to play with spin, flatter, serving, trying to find all different playing styles, and obviously with the 2 different styles of rackets to see what rackets the string really suits and what characteristics it brings to our game.
Yeah, should we get on with it?
Let's go.
Let's go. Whilst I've got you here, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Set your reminders, you get all our brilliant content. Thank you very much for watching. Review coming soon.
We have just got off court from trying Toroline's Pro Hybrid. How'd you find it?
Initial thoughts were it's really nice, comfy, all-round good string.
And that was in the speed, right?
Yeah.
So my initial thoughts on the Pure Drive, less positive.
Interesting.
My first impression was certainly, am I losing some Pure Driveness? Am I losing some fun? Am I losing some raw power? But, this is a big but, as I progressed and as I played and maybe the string bedded in a bit more, maybe I just warmed up, I liked it more and more and more and more and more. To the end, to right now, I think it's great. And it would be certainly one of my options when considering what string to have.
Yeah, so just for a bit of context, those of you who don't know, the Babolat Pure Drive is, or was, or is still the most powerful tennis racket on the market. So anything that can kind of rein that in a little bit is probably a good idea. And that's what I found when I used it. So I don't normally like the Pure Drive. I find it just a bit wild for me. But with Pro Hybrid in, it kind of, I was like, okay. This has got,
consider it rounding edges.
Yeah, softening edges.
Softening the diamond in the rough, the Pure Drive, giving it some a bit more playability, touch and feel, more comfort. But maybe you lose out a little bit of that pop.
Yeah, and again, this is when it all comes back to personal preference, right?
And playing style.
Yeah.
I have quite a shorter, punchier swing. If you had a longer, more kind of fluid, loopy swing, you'd probably generate enough with it anyway that it'd be really nice. Yeah, and I think that's why I kind of probably liked it a little bit, because it suited the way I play, whereas normally the Pure Drive doesn't. So I think that's probably it's a good point for Pro Hybrid in the Pure Drive. Yeah, and the reason why I think it is a good string, and why I think it's better than Wasabi, is that I liked it in both. Yes. I liked it in the speed. I found the speed more playable. And actually at one point, and this is probably also partly the speed characteristics, that I felt like I couldn't really miss. Yeah. So I feel like the spin that the string really gave you some extra control. Yeah, so the thing to remember about the Head Speed is because it's got this very narrow beamed, thin racket, it's designed to be whipped around and thrown around. It's lots of control, precision racket almost. So you do sometimes want just a little bit more out of it, and it's sometimes, if you don't have a particularly big swing,
that's often people don't usually like the head speed, and similar rackets, things like the Blade, the Percept, those sorts of rackets, they kind of suit a certain play style. With Pro Hybrid in, it kind of just makes up for some of what you're lacking almost, it felt like.
So interesting, if we compare to some of the other Toroline strings, because one thing that we really like about Toroline is that all the prices are the same. So it isn't that they've got a premium string and then a budget friendly string. They are all around £10 a set in the UK, and they all have different characteristics, and they're all separated by characteristics, not quality.
Yes, and they're very, very clear on what the characteristics are. It's like, this is a power string, and this is a spin string, which helps. It's really quite useful.
So we only tried Enzo Pro recently, and K-pop not that long ago either, and I think maybe this Pro Hybrid is my favourite so far.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with that.
Even I think maybe the Enzo Pro was more fun.
Yep.
The power. The Pro Hybrid certainly I think is more playable and more of an all-rounder than straight Wasabi. Often with hybrids you get the worst of both strings. This is certainly, in my opinion, the case of the best of both strings.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think like we said, the fact that it suits both rackets, which are pretty extreme versions of those rackets, is a really good sign. And it probably, whatever racket you're using and however you play, it's probably worth a try.
Yeah, it is still quite, whilst comfortable, because it's quite a heavy hitting string, if you do suffer with any sort of tennis elbow, it's probably not the string for you.
No, but you can say that about a lot of polyester strings.
It's certainly not a super soft string, but and it is kind of, in the pure drive, it kind of felt hard to use, but that benefit paid off in a heavier outcome.
Yes, it was notable being down the other end of the court, trying to deal with Josh's ball with Pro Hybrid in. It felt, whoa, it's like feeling like it actually felt heavier, which is rare, and it's a rare case where Toroline say this is going to give you heavy shots and then you actually feel it. I was almost surprised.
So as we said, it's Wasabi and Wasabi X. One of the interesting things is this, since Pro Hybrids have been released and been quite popular, Wasabi X, which was only ever included in the Pro Hybrid setup, is now also available as its own string, full bed. So something that we kind of keen to try, the Wasabi X versus the Wasabi versus the Pro Hybrid, and kind of comparing all those three. So that's on our list. So you don't put it in the comments, we're going to make it for you.
Yeah, and then finally, I mean, we do talk about the colour. It can't be anything more personal preference than colour, right? We didn't like the look of it when we took it out of the bag and started stringing with it, but you can judge for yourselves at home, but we kind of like it.
I think it's better than the orange Enzo Pro.
Yes, I think it was neon pink or neon red, but it was orange. Yeah, but yeah, so it really suits the all black, and it kind of works in the pure drive.
I really like it in the pure drive. So a nice all-round string. Remember, when it comes to trying new strings and changing strings, it is personal preference. It's about your playing style, the surface you play on, the conditions you play in, the frame you use, the weight you use, the gauge of the string, the tension of the string. It's such a rabbit hole of detail that you can't just go, oh, you know, Josh from PH Tennis said it was great in a pure drive, so I'll put it in. It's worth trying. If some of the characteristics that we've described that it gives are things that you're looking for, that you feel like you're missing, then it's a great string to go out there. The benefit of string, it's quite a cheap thing to change. £200 to change your racket, 20 quid to change some string. So it's an easy thing to try and change your characteristics, but there's so much detail to get into. You've got to be careful that you don't get in your own head and ruin your game because you're so worried about the technical spec rather than feeling when you're playing. Yeah, and I think that brings us to a great conclusion. If you do feel like you kind of want to try something a little bit different, Pro Hybrid's definitely worth a try. If you use Wasabi, and if you've used Wasabi, then I would definitely try Pro Hybrid. You may well prefer it. Just remember, it's not going to revolutionise your entire game. You're not going to start winning matches that you were losing just because of Wasabi X in the crosses. It's good, maybe not that good. As always, thanks for watching. Any comments, please put them below, and we'll see you on the next video. We've got loads more strings to try and lots of new rackets coming out soon. Will it be the best of both? Or will it be the worst of both? Who knows? Let's find out. Oh, harmony. Nice. Clap. Take 74 on the proper mic. you reckon anyone's ever been fired from a job within 3 days?
No.
I know that. We got a new sound man.
No, we need a new sound
We need
man.
a new sound.